Well, I'm in the beautiful village of Calbourne. I'm going to make my way down Winkle Street, which is a beautiful little row of thatched cottages. So I don't quite know where I'm going to walk, but I'm going to walk either way, about 12 miles, and I'll try and find a site as I go along. I have no plans. Well, that section was called Winkle Street, or Barrington Row is its correct name. I think because people used to collect winkles from the river here, they called it Winkle Street. It used to have coaches come down it. It was a big tourist spot, but the residents got a little bit peed off with it, so it stopped. Beautiful little place. If you ever come to the Isle of Wight, put in Winkle Street, park your car somewhere in the village and have a walk down. It's a classic English village. I've just popped in here to clean my boots off. This is Calbourne, C-A-U-L, and Bourne, B-O-U-R-N-E. And Bourne means river, obviously, or stream, as in Bournemouth. And obviously the village Calbourne gets its name from this brook. There used to be a mill up there as well, upstream. It's only about half a mile away. It's really muddy, that's why I had to come and clean my boots. But this stream is really clean for the Isle of Wight because most of the streams on the Isle of Wight run through clay soil and they don't have a stone bed. This has a stone bed. It's very shallow. I doubt it supports much in terms of fish unless it gets deeper farther along, but it's just a beautiful little area. I'm tempted to camp here, but there's 3 paths that meet here. So yeah, a confluence of 3 paths, but the stream is just there, the Bourne is just there. It's flat. The sun is streaming through. It's relatively dry, not bone dry, I have to say that, but what a beautiful spot. Well, that's one bothy I'm not going to use. Well, I've risen above sea level now. I'm going to make my way into the woods behind me. That's Forley oil refinery there, and that's the Solent. So I'm kind of making my way uphill for a while into a forest. I've decided to take a break. The pain between my shoulders is absolutely incredible. I know it's not my spine at that point, it's my neck. It's a historical thing. When I was in the forces, I really damaged my neck, and I was on opioids for a long time. Also, I meditate. I don't do it when I'm camping. Anyone that tells you they meditate when they're wild camping is not quite telling the truth. It's really difficult to do unless you've got somewhere to sit easily with your back straight, etc., etc. And that's normally not inside of a tent on an inflatable mat. But some people like to say, oh yeah, I do my meditation or mindfulness. I do it when I can because it helps me to manage the pain. This path goes on and on. So I'm climbing about 700 feet. It's not exactly steep, but it's a bugger of a pull-up. That mound there is in fact a tumuli, which is a Neolithic burial place. The Victorians emptied it, of course, but the Forestry Commission don't like you riding your bike over it or anything like that, so they get quite annoyed. But there's nothing in it except earth. There's plenty of places to camp in this forest. It's called Brystone Forest. Personally, I don't like camping in woods. I don't know why. Yeah, I've had a hard day because of my back, and I've taken a lot of Nurofen, to be totally honest with you, Nurofen and codeine, which is not good, but yeah, I'm surviving. But this has been one of the hardest days I've had for a long time. I should be out of these woods very soon, actually. It's very dark in here, but I can see a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. As I say, I could camp here. It's very straightforward to camp here. There's a lot of flat places, but it's not my type of area, and I want to see the sunrise as well. Well, I reckon we're in for a good sunset, actually. So I might do a time lapse, but I've got to drop down to this disused quarry. So this is Motterstone Down, and that's the Needles, or the cliffs near the Needles, and the sun's going to set to my right. So I might get a good time lapse out of it. Let's try. So the disused quarry is just down here, so I'm going to make my way down there. If not, there's a site at the top there I can use behind a trig point, but let's give this site a try first. Here's the quarry, or disused quarry as I should say. There's plenty of flat areas that can't be seen. It's a footpath here, of course there is, but I think I'll be all right. So I'm going to pitch up and I might do a time lapse, so I better get my other camera out. Well, I'm not going to see the Milky Way tonight, that's for certain. Normally you can see it from here facing south. So I'm facing sort of southeast there. That's south, that's the sea over there. So in the morning, despite the hills being there, I will still get a reasonable sunrise. I might do a time lapse on that as well. I've got a huge insect that keeps bugging me. And when I say huge, I thought it was a motorbike going past. It's absolutely massive. God knows what it is, but it can smell my sweat and it won't leave me alone. I don't know if you can hear it. There it is. Look, it's absolutely enormous. It is absolutely enormous. I've never come across anything like it in my whole life. It sounds like a drone. Well, I'm only out for one night, so all I've got is some chicken bites, whatever they are, and some pate. I think that's enough for me. A tiny amount of vodka, so I can have a little bit of a drink. Here comes that insect again. Well, it rained last night, but I think we're in for a really nice day. I should have got up a little bit earlier. It's 6:30 now. The sun's coming over the yard arm. I might just take a photograph of the sun coming up. So, yeah, pretty good night's sleep. Nothing untoward. No noises, lots of insects, but other than that, good night. That's me down there. Just about to see me in that little spot there. The sun won't reach me till 8 o'clock and the tent is pretty wet, so I'm going to have to hang around without a doubt. So I don't really want to pack it away wet. No rush. I'm still waiting for my tent to dry out. That's the one downside about camping on grass in areas like this. You're going to get a lot of condensation, dew basically on your tent. If you're inside a wood, you very rarely get that. Obviously outside of having rain, but if you camp on grass, you're going to get condensation, so you have a choice. Pack up wet or wait for it to dry. I'm waiting for it to dry because I'm not bothered, because I'm only going home. But if I was on a multi-day hike, I'll have to make that decision because it's now 7:53 and I like to get away early, so I'm still waiting for this tent to dry. Guy there working his dog, border collie. Packed up and ready to go, so I've only got about a 5-mile walk back to the car, so yeah, let's enjoy it. It's a beautiful day. You can just about see the cliffs by the Needles. That's the trig point behind me, 214 metres. I don't think that's even 700 feet. Okay, Google, what's 214 metres in feet?
214 metres is equal to 702 feet, 1.197 inches.
Just out of interest, or just to inform you, you might be bored with this, BS would mean in this case Bryston. So every sort of footpath has a 2-letter prefix which indicates the nearest town or the nearest relevant town. Well, that's the Solent and the mainland behind it. That's the New Forest actually. So yeah, great day for views. Well, even this 18mm lens doesn't do this justice. It's a huge view. I'd have to do a panorama to really capture its magnificence. Great trip, great day. It's summer at last. A little bit too hot. Well, I shouldn't moan. Why am I moaning? Great trip. Yesterday was a bit sort of bland weather-wise, but overnight, well, as the sun started to set, it's starting to get better. Shame I couldn't see the Milky Way because it didn't clear completely. But the place I camped at was really good as well, and the walk in and walk out have been fantastic. I hope you enjoyed the scenery. See you next week.